These were the scenes on the streets of Khartoum earlier this month. A military crackdown on protesters which left over 100 people dead, according to opposition groups. And with no sign of an agreement to end the violence, the UN says Sudan is sliding towards a human rights abyss. Back in April, the capital city was celebrating the end of President Omar al-Bashir's 30-year rule. His repressive regime was brought to an end by an army takeover amid pro-democracy uprisings across the country. But the protesters soon turned on the junta set up to replace al-Bashir, after the defense minister announced that a transitional military council would remain in power for at least 2 years. Many civilians chose to remain in protest camps set up in Khartoum and other cities, insisting that Sudan's generals hand power to the people. Protest leaders began negotiating with military officials, but it soon became clear that they were unwilling to relinquish control. On June the 3rd, security forces loyal to the ruling junta, many of them part of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, moved in to clear out the camps. Perhaps unsurprisingly, in the aftermath of this violent dispersal of civilians, opposition groups and the authorities can't agree on the number of lives lost. Activists claim that hospitals and schools have been attacked, dozens of female doctors raped, and many bodies dumped in the River Nile. With the telecommunications blackouts across Sudan, they also believe authorities are trying to cover up their crimes. Western states have been critical of the military council, however ruling generals have reportedly received support from China and Russia, as well as financial aid from Gulf Arab states. In the wake of the violence, protest groups called a 3-day general strike, turning Khartoum into a ghost town. The US and Ethiopia have since stepped in to seek a peaceful solution to the crisis, as protest leaders and Sudanese generals return to the negotiating table. But there are growing international calls for the military officials behind the recent crackdown to be held accountable.